Guys, one thing you're going to learn about me is I love doing stuff that makes our life easier. So, by the end of this lesson, you should be able to summarize the sequence of events in a story. And you should be able to do that rather easily because I'm going to give you a formula. So, what is a summary? A summary is a brief statement or account of the main points, key points of a text. When should you summarize? Well, anytime you read or view a text, you should be thinking of the main idea and the key details. And if you can do that, you pretty much have a good summary. Doing so activates your brain and allows you to begin the process of breaking down the text or analyzing. If you aren't sure the author's main point or key plot, your full understanding of the text will be skewed or messed up. All right, so I told you guys I'm all for making our lives easy. So there's this acronym out there to help us summarize, and it's called SWBST, and I'm going to teach you what that stands for. First one is somebody, and we're talking about the main character, the speaker, maybe even the author. Wanted, what was their motivation, the gist of the issue, what someone is trying to accomplish, to achieve, to acquire, what is the end goal. But there's always a problem, right? What is the conflict? What's standing in the way of the person being successful at their job? So, how the problem is solved, then how did it end? Sometimes it helps if you look at it like this. This should look a little bit more familiar from yesterday's lesson. And you can kind of see somebody wanted, but so then, and if you can think of it along a plot line, it helps out quite a bit. So again, looking at it this way, all right, so let's take a look. One of my favorite things to do is to use fairy tales and things from like old Disney movies, things that most of us have seen. So in this case, we're going to use Cinderella. And the way we would write this out would be that Cinderella wanted to go to the ball. But, or in this case, I used however, her stepmother wouldn't let her go. So, her fairy godmother helped her. Then, in the end, she married the prince and lived happily ever after. So if I were to read this with a SWBST example, it would read exactly like this. Cinderella wanted to go to the ball. However, her stepmother wouldn't let her go. So her fairy godmother helped her. In the end, she married the prince and lived happily ever after. That would be your summary of Cinderella. Let's try with Little Red Riding Hood. So Little Red Riding Hood, again, is our main character. She wanted to go visit her grandma. We know that there was an evil wolf. She found the lumberjack, and the lumberjack killed the wolf and rescued the grandmother. So the way that would look like if I was writing a somebody wanted but so then statement would look like this. Little Red Riding Hood wanted to visit her grandmother in the woods, but an evil wolf beat her to the house. So she went and looked and found a lumberjack. The lumberjack killed the wolf and rescued the grandmother. So if you were going to write it out, it would look something similar to this. Cinderella wanted to go to the ball, but her stepmother would not let her go. So her fairy godmother helped her. Then she married the prince and lived happily ever after. So by looking at this, you should be able to use this template, this formula, this fill in the blank with any fictional story and come up with a really good summary. So again, somebody wanted, but so then. So I bet you guys can go do one of these for the Ransom of Red Chief. Good luck. Let me know if you need any help.